Hello everyone, my name is Rob, welcome to the channel. This is my Garmin Fenix 5X and I've had this over 2 months now, so I thought I'd do just a 2 month review. I've had a bit of time with it, so to give it a really good testing. I had the Garmin Fenix 3, the non-HR version before this. So the biggest thing for me, was great, is having that sensor on the back. I still have my my strap, which my heart rate monitor strap, which I use for running, because that gives you other metric sort of data, but that's pretty much all I need it for, which is great, because there was a number of times when I kind of went from home to work or somewhere else and I forgot the strap, and it was annoying that you couldn't record your data, whereas with this now it's fantastic. You know, going out for a bike ride or something and you just you just set it on and away it goes. So that's the biggest thing for me, so it's great, but I'd still recommend anybody who's into running and really wants all that extra metric data, just get the heart rate strap, or if you're into triathlons and things like that, and you're swimming as well, because this is it's not supposed to be particularly well in water, and if you set it, I think, on any of the water modes, that doesn't actually switch on, although I'd imagine if you got that press fairly hard onto your skin, you should still get the information from it, although I believe if your skin gets cold it can affect the information that's coming out of it. So that's the biggest thing for me. This is the 5X, so this is the map version. So if you're thinking of whether to get the maps or not, I would say mainly for people who are into mountain climbing or big sort of walkers. You don't want to keep getting your phone out, or you don't want to get a map out. Yep, it's great. Possibly road cyclists who want turn-by-turn sat-nav. I'd probably have my phone strapped to my bike. I'd imagine if I was going to have sat-nav, not looking at a small screen that could potentially have an accident. So I would say mostly for hill walkers. I don't know if anybody else out there there's a sport that they want to mention in the comments of what they think the maps are good for, but they're fine. They're quite good. I've done a video on them. They're quite detailed. They're a bit of a pig to set up a route. So to actually put a point-by-point route on is very difficult to do it on the watch itself, because you're doing it sort of by buttons. So to follow a map point is not that easy to do, and there are kind of workarounds to do it on the phone. The standard Garmin app doesn't do it for whatever reason. I don't know. It seems daft that you can't just pick points on your mobile phone and sort of get that sort of set up. So that's a bit lacking, really. So the maps, for me, not so great. So maybe I probably would have gone for the Fenix 5, not the 5X. But I'll leave that down to you, But I just thought I'd let you know what my thoughts on having the maps are. You can change the maps as well. There are different add-on maps to give more information, but it's still a fairly small screen and fairly limited in what you can do. If you preset routes, that's great. It works well. But if you're away for a week and then you decide to do a different route, you want to change it. Unless you got internet access, it's really, really difficult. So it's a bit of a poor show from Garmin that they haven't implemented that. Battery life on this still great. Gets somewhere between 7 to 10 days, depending on the activities. If you do a big walk where you're tracking for 4 or 5 hours, yeah, it's going to really hit the battery life on there. I've got a battery widget that I did a review on, which is really good. It gives you information, and you can change that. That's over the last 4 days. Yeah, the other thing about that as well is the fact that they've changed this charger, so you can't charge this whilst on your wrist. The old charger, you used to be able to put the charger actually on your wrist, and you could attach it to an external battery. So that's a bit of a downside, that they've changed to this connection from the old type that used to sort of clip around it and it was flat, and you can actually still put it on your wrist, so if you're an ultramarathon. So if you're tracking a walk, then maybe you want to put it into ultra track mode, where it takes a lot less GPS information. It's a little bit less accurate, but hey, it's better than losing your watch. The other thing to do is just carry an external battery with you. and the lead, keep it in your rucksack, and then you can pop it on charge when you don't need it on your wrist. So battery's still good. Software, it's great. The information that you get on a Garmin, if you haven't had one of these before, the information on this is second to none. You're going to get more proper scientific information out of this, not something like the Samsung sort of stuff, or stuff from Apple, where it's a bit gimmicky and it gives you kind of an idea. Okay, and it's and Fitbits. Ah, God. Okay, if anybody's seriously into tracking their information, you wouldn't get a Fitbit. They're completely useless. The information you get on Garmin is second to none. So the software that you get the information back on is fantastic. There are a few things that are lacking in it, really. Just simple things. I'm not going to go into it in too much detail, but there are features that they could add to the watch quite simply, just to make it better interacting with your phone. But hey, who knows? They might put it onto an update. So the software is really good, barring the sort of where I talked about before, putting on the maps and things, which I think they really need to add that on. Right, so going on to the wear and tear. This is sort of 2.5 months old. I did a video about the paint finish on this. As you might be able to see there, it's starting to wear off there, and that's just by rubbing. So there's no major scratches on this. I have tried my absolute utmost to make sure this thing stays absolutely sparkly clean. I'll just give the glass a bit of a wipe there, stop it reflecting too much. So you can see the glass is totally unscratched because this is a sapphire version. If you think you're going to be doing an activity that where you might get this scratched at all, my solution for that, and I did a video on this, was to wear a sweatband. So a nice thick wide sweatband that's much wider than the watch. I've got one, I think it's about 3 inches wide, just a black sweatband. You pop over your wrist whilst you're I scratched my last watch, the face of it, whilst rock climbing, and I put a great big gouge in the glass. So I put that across there, and it saves that from getting all bashed up. But this is just wearing off from just sort of rubbing, I don't know, on your clothes or whatever. This is, I've been really fastidious about sort of trying to keep this thing looking good. So, and they've just put a paint finish on, which is a bit poor. So when they've got a silver version of this, I would go for a silver version, not this version here. Or if they got a stainless steel body, go for that. But that aesthetics aside, it's a good, solid, strong watch. It's pretty much bomb-proof. I have seen a picture of somebody who managed to smash the glass on theirs. I think they had a major bike accident. So they're not totally indestructible, but they're pretty damn bomb-proof. As I say, the glass is pretty strong. The paint job, not so great, but apart from that, everything else is pretty good. It's extremely waterproof. It gives it I think it's 10 atmospheres on the 5X. Some of them are 5 atmospheres. I had a watch before Garmin. I can't remember what make it was now, but it was a heart rate monitor watch, and said that it was waterproof for 3 atmospheres, and I went surfing on it, and after about the 3rd time it leaked with water. I've never had an issue with Garmin with my last watch or this watch, so I know they put some sort of caveats on people who dive with these, so just be mindful if you're diving. But for most surface water sports, you're absolutely fine. Been kite surfing, supboarding, all the rest of it, and never had an issue with the water on it. So there's been no issues with this that I had with my last watch when they first brought out the Fenix 3. There were lots and lots of updates, and there's not been hardly any. Well, there've been a couple of updates, but nothing for anything that I've really noticed there's been a major issue with. So let's see if they put some of these extra features on that we hope with the software. my overall opinion for this is, yeah, get a 5 or a 5X or the 5S even. The latest version of Garmin's watches are fantastic. I fully endorse these. Few little niggles that, you know, really cheese me off, because otherwise it'd be absolutely the best. But I would give this sort of a 95% review. Yeah, if you're on the fence about it and thinking of Sunto or anything like that, don't go for the Garmin. Absolutely brilliant. So there we go. If you found this review, if you're getting any help or you found it useful, then please give me a like. It helps me a lot. And if you like my videos and you want to watch any future ones, then subscribe and you'll get the update when they come through. So thank you very much for watching. My name's Rob, and I'll see you next time. Bye.